You can hit it anywhere, but you cannot hit it to the crowd zone.
The MLB may have lost its mind this week. Insane games.
So the Rays are down to their final out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Ground ball up the middle, and that ball will go as a base hit. 2-1 up the right side. That's a fair ball. Gonna go into the corner. Ramirez will score. Into third, Caballero.
Insane upsets.
Oh boy, take a good look. You won't see this for long. That got out in a hurry. First of the year for Nolan Jones.
And insane performances.
Mookie Betts is 5 for 5. You cannot get this man out.
Nothing is predictable in the MLB this season. Here's how everything shook out in Week 3. Chapter 1. Changing Tides. One of the craziest series of the season took place in Arizona this week when the Cubs visited the D-backs. The Cubbies have been one of the best teams in baseball to start this season, and after a key series win over the Mariners last weekend, look to keep things rolling in Arizona. The D-backs, however, have started the season a bit shakier, but took their second series win in a row when they beat the Cardinals in 2 out of 3. Both teams had a lot to play for in the series, and neither would give the other one an edge the entire time. Overall, there were 10 lead changes in the 3-game series, with 2 of the games going into extra innings. A pitcher's duel in Game 1 went down to the wire. Kevin Ginkel was just 1 out away from a D-back win before a wild pitch plated the tying run. Nico Horner would give the Cubbies the lead in extras before Keegan Thompson shut the door. In Game 2, Arizona brought the power early to grab a 3-run lead. 4 runs in the 5th put the Cubbies on top before the D-backs responded with 4 more of their own in the bottom half. With their second 3-run lead in hand, the D-backs thought they had the game in the bag before Ian Happ did this.
7th. Drilled left field towards the corner. Gone! Grand slam, Ian Happ!
Trailing 11-8, the D-backs scratched across runs in both the 7th and the 8th, bringing the game into Ketel Marte territory.
Scored twice from the leadoff spot, 3 for 5. And hangs up in right center. Ketel Marte! It's gone and we're tied! Last man standing makes it 11-11. Marte's 4th and they've come all the way back.
Kevin Ginkel got revenge in extra innings before Randall Grichuk sealed the deal. Arizona couldn't keep the momentum going into Game 3 though, as Chicago was able to grab the lead in the 6th and didn't look back. This series had a playoff atmosphere and it's a shame someone had to lose it. The Cubs continue to prove they are the real deal and sit just a half a game back in the NL Central. Meanwhile, the Orioles continue to excite everyone with a series sweep over the Twins. Minnesota was the preseason favorite in the AL Central, but is off to a disastrous start to the season. Baltimore even tried to amplify the hype for this season when they called up #1 prospect Jackson Holliday, but he's been an absolute disaster offensively, only getting 1 hit in his first 25 Major League at-bats. The other young guns continue to shine, however, specifically Colton Cowser. Cowser looks like the favorite to be the Rookie of the Year and hasn't stopped mashing since the season began. The O's sit right behind the Yankees in the NL East and are looking to prove to everyone last year wasn't a fluke. Chapter 2. Dynasties of Past, Present, and Future. The closest thing to a dynasty in the MLB right now is the Atlanta Braves. No team has had more success in recent years, and with young stars on team-friendly deals, the future seems even brighter. After dispatching of the NL's worst Miami Marlins, the team flew into Houston for a series with the Astros. The Astros were the AL's best over the last 7 years, but a rough start to 2024 has people questioning if the run is over in Houston. Despite the season-ending injury to Spencer Strider, the Braves continue to find new arms. Rookie Darius Vines held the Astros to just 1 run in Game 1, while free agent Ronaldo Lopez was dominant in Game 2. The biggest difference in the series, however, was the bullpen. Atlanta's has been a strength all season, while Houston's RPs have offered no relief. Josh Hader and co. have been a bottom 3 bullpen in the league, and the Braves feasted in the late innings in this series to grab the sweep. The Braves have the best record in the MLB, while the Astros sit at the bottom of the AL West. Meanwhile, in Toronto, the Yankees were coming to town for a 3-game series. Despite the Blue Jays' lack of playoff success, the team has one of the most exciting young cores in baseball. Toronto's off to a mediocre start in 2024, but have a chance for a momentum shift if they can topple the league-leading Yankees. New York is coming off fresh against a series win over the AL Central leading Guardians and look to stay hot against the division rival. Juan Soto looks like he was built to play in pinstripes, and Anthony Volpe has hit the ground running in his sophomore season. But it was Blue Jay pitching that dominated the series. Chris Bassett set the tone in Game 1, and Yusei Kikuchi dominated in Game 2. If it weren't for a late inning comeback in Game 3, the Blue Jays would have swept New York. The pitching staff has held the team back in recent years, and despite many writing off Toronto before the season, this team could be scary if they can put all the pieces together. Chapter 3. Pulse Check. In the last few years, Dodgers-Padres has been one of the best series to watch in the entire MLB. So much star power on display, and even when these teams met in the middle of April, the stakes always felt high. Some thought this year would be different though. The Padres were prime candidates for regression after losing Juan Soto and Blake Snell, but San Diego looked to prove everyone wrong. In Game 1, the Padres fell to an early 4-run deficit, but managed to come all the way back.
Fly ball headed towards left field. Back goes Chris Taylor. He's looking up and it's gone! Tie game!
Rookie Jackson Merrill won the game in extras, and Padres struck first in the series. Game 2 was all LA, which meant the series would be decided on Sunday Night Baseball on national TV. The Padres again overcame a multi-run Dodger lead before Jerks and Profar put the nail in the coffin.
And that one is hard hit to center. Outman going back, still going back. It's over his head, then it ricochets away. 3 runs are going to come in. Profar will jam on the brakes at second. A huge base-clearing double.
The Dodgers would then host the Nationals during the week and shockingly lose 2 out of 3 to them as well. LA has now lost 3 of their last 4 series, and while no one should be panicking, the pitching staff has been riddled with injuries. At the very least, the team looks vulnerable at the moment. The Padres would take to the road to visit the NL Central leading Brewers for a 3-game series. Again, San Diego proved they can play from behind, taking a 3-run Milwaukee lead and turning into a 4-run victory in Game 1. New Padre Dylan Cease would cap off the series win in Game 2, and all of a sudden the team looks to be back in form. The Padres were written off by many before the season, but it seems like the front office has done a decent job replacing what they lost. For now, San Diego sits right behind the Dodgers, second in the NL West. Chapter 4. Questions and Answers. The Mets entered Week 3 near the bottom of the standings and was set to play 2 of the hottest teams in baseball this week. Most of the preseason projections had the Mets missing the playoffs, and it's mostly because of the massive uncertainties in the pitching rotation. With the series on the line in Game 3, it was Jose Butto making just his 10th career start. Butto was absolutely dominant, striking out 9 Royals and matching Cole Reagan's 6 shutout innings. The Mets scraped together 2 runs late, and Edwin Diaz was able to pick up the save. This seemed to be just the beginning for the pitching staff, however, as in the next series they hushed the hot Pirate bats, allowing just 5 runs in a 3-game series sweep. That gave the Mets a 5-1 week, and although many were already doubting the Royals and Pirates off to nice starts, the suspect pitching staff for the Mets looked overwhelming in the 2 series. Along with Butto, free agents Adrian Hauser and Luis Severino have been fantastic this season. The team has the number 1 ERA in the National League, and if anything, it's the bats that need to step up more for New York. Maybe this team will flop like many Mets teams past, but for now they sit right in the middle of the playoff hunt. Chapter 5. All You Can Do. Neither the Angels or Red Sox have gotten off to the best starts this season. The Angels seem dead on arrival in 2024 after losing Shohei Ohtani. So far this year, Mike Trout finding mid-20s form has been the only thing keeping this team's head above water. The Red Sox, however, have had a full team effort in the form of their pitching staff to post the best ERA in baseball. Despite this, the team is barely clinging on to a .500 record and haven't been able to find enough consistency at the plate. It was all LA in Game 1 and all Boston in Game 2, which sent the series to Sunday to decide a winner. It was young Boston ace Brian Bayo who held the Angels to just 2 runs through the first 6 innings. Early season surprise Tyler O'Neill continued his hot stretch to give the Red Sox the lead, and the bullpen was just able to hold on. It was a nice series win for Boston, but they'd face a much tougher opponent during the week when the Guardians came to town. Cleveland's pitching staff has been just as good as Boston's, but the Guardians also boast a top 3 offense in the AL. In Game 1, Cutter Crawford did his best, shutting the Guardians down through 6 innings, but the Red Sox couldn't manage any offense. Cleveland feasted on Boston relievers to get the win. The Guardians jumped all over Garrett Whitlock in Game 2, and it felt like the series was already over. Boston fought all the way back to take the lead and looked to take Game 2, but Kenley Jansen blew the save and the Guardians ran away with the game in extras. With the series already lost, Tanner Houck took the ball for Game 3. You never know how many runs this lineup will give you, so after Connor Wong homered in the 4th, Tanner Houck never looked back.
Nasty one there, the slider, missed it by a lot too. And puts him away. He strikes him out, claims another helmet. Easily the best performance the Red Sox have had this season, and by a long shot.
2 up, 2